Hello and welcome to the Oscar prediction episode of Rock the Cinema Podcast.
Yeah, today we're going to be talking about the Oscar predictions that we have.
Yeah, all the categories, all of our thoughts, and of course we're going to try to predict who's going to win every single category. And if we have a success rate of 100%,
I think we'll just get bragging rights.
Yeah.
So our first category, we're going to start with our shorts.
Yeah, let's go through the 4 short categories because out of the 20, I think I've seen one. Which, that's not bad. Last year I watched all 20, but this year there was no time for it.
Yeah, it felt like it snuck up on us a little bit.
Yeah, and then I just didn't have time to contact people or do research because like last year I had to contact some producing people or some companies to get shorts emailed to us via screener links and all that stuff, and I didn't do this year.
And 2021 was a very busy year. We had a lot of life changes.
Yeah, so, okay, best live action short is what you're here for. I picked The Long Goodbye to win because it has Riz Ahmed, and historically big actors in shorts usually win the award.
Yeah, but we also kind of went with that with Oscar Isaac last time, and that one didn't win.
No, it was last year was really bad. Two Distant Strangers won with Joey Badass, so
yeah,
don't take her word for it. So what do you think is gonna win?
That's The Long Goodbye is probably what I was also thinking. Just because it also has like a pretty, I think it's based on Riz Ahmed's album, like an actual album. So I think that could be an interesting thing that the Oscars might enjoy, you know?
So documentary short. I couldn't really pick between The Queen of Basketball and 3 Songs for Benazir, but I watched that one and I didn't really like it that much. Like, I thought it was okay, but I haven't seen The Queen of Basketball, but I'm gonna assume it's a little bit better, or at least like people like it better. If I have to pick one, I'll pick The Queen of Basketball.
I was also gonna pick The Queen of Basketball, just so everyone knows we did not compare notes.
No, I don't know what she's gonna pick.
Just so in case anybody was curious. But next we're gonna do Best Animated Short. And the nominations were Affairs of the Art, Bestia, Box Ballet, Robin, and The Windshield Wiper. I'm actually kind of surprised because usually I think the Oscars have a lot of the Disney shorts in this category, and not a single one of these.
I like the short that came before Encanto, the one with was it koalas or raccoons?
No, raccoons, yeah.
Yeah, I thought that one was pretty cute.
I thought that one was cute too, but I do think it's a little bit refreshing that this doesn't have a Disney nomination, because usually that's the one that ends up winning anyway. But I think The Windshield Wiper is my pick. Okay. I think that one has a little bit more substance compared to the other ones.
I picked Robin. I can't really tell you why, but yeah, that's the one I went. I said 20 earlier. It's only 15 because there's 3 categories. I don't know what I was thinking. My bad. But yeah, Robin. I don't really know anything about any of the animated ones. I watched some, but none of them got nominated. So
yeah. So next we're going to move on to Best International Film. I think this is a pretty easy category.
Yeah, but it's a good category this year.
Yeah.
Because earlier in the year, if you had asked me, I would think The Worst Person in the World was a lock for Best International Film. And I also assumed Titane would be nominated. I understand why it wasn't. I know you're mad about that.
Yeah, so I'm going to take this now as my time to complain about why Titane wasn't nominated, because that was probably my favorite movie of 2021. Just in terms of, like, I don't even know. I don't even know why I liked it so much, but I did.
It was great. She's a great director.
I liked it better than her other movie, Raw.
I love Raw, so I don't...
Yeah, but, you know, it doesn't really matter. This is my opinion. But I was really upset that Titane didn't win because I feel like it was such a...
Didn't get nominated.
Yeah, it didn't even get nominated. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
It didn't win, didn't get nominated. It didn't get nominated. And I think it was such a brave move for France to even pick that as its nomination to be nominated.
It's really not a French choice, is it? No. They usually like scare away from this type of more larger than life film.
Yeah.
And they pick just dramas, regular dramas, which is fine. Like they usually pick good movies, but it's just not the best.
Yeah.
But like if they picked like Petit Maman this year instead of Titane, they might have gotten a nomination.
But alas, it was not meant to be. Yeah, so we had Drive My Car.
Which is obviously going to win. I don't think anyone is expecting a different pick here.
Flee, The Hand of God, Lunana, A Yak in the Classroom, and The Worst Person in the World.
Yeah.
I will say that I did think that most of these movies, I didn't really hear much about the Lunana one.
Yeah, that's the one that I was like kind of confused how it got nominated. Not that it doesn't deserve it. It's just, it kind of snuck in there because The Hand of God, I was super excited for that. Ended up not liking it too much. I kind of just okay with it. Flee, same. I'm kind of just okay with it. I got a bunch of nominations though, and it was full on expecting it to get this one too.
Yeah, but that one at least has a lot of heart to it, I think.
I just don't. I don't think it's very original. I feel like I've seen it. I feel like I've seen it so many times. I've seen a lot of like animated documentary style movies about immigrants or about like Arab people in countries hurting. Look, I don't know. It's good, but I feel like I've seen a lot of it, so I wasn't super excited watching it. But yeah, it's still a good category.
Obviously, Drive My Car I think is going to win. I don't really see how it wouldn't, and if it doesn't, I'd be very shocked.
Again, historically, if you get Best Picture nomination as a foreign film, you're gonna win it.
Yeah.
Roma, Parasite, Amour. So yeah, Drive My Car. Next category, we have Best Documentary Feature, which is another one for Flee. Mm-hmm. Which is it's a reason why I think it could win, because it got 3 nominations, right? It got 3, yeah. So,
yeah. But for Best Documentary Feature, there was Ascension, Attica, Flee, Summer of Soul, and Writing with Fire. I think Flea's gonna win.
You think Flea's gonna win? And
I think that one's
I said it might win because of it has so many nominations. But I think I'm going to pick Summer of Soul because people are really into that one. Mm-hmm. It's another one. Again, I thought it was okay. I think it's a music documentary that's good, but there's like 5 or 6 this year.
That's true.
But this is probably the best one of those, right? But it's a music documentary. I wasn't super into it, but I did enjoy it.
Yeah, Summer of Soul also is, directed by Questlove, and it's about like Harlem culture, so I can definitely see...
It's a super interesting topic.
Yeah, it is an interesting topic. And if Flee isn't going to win, I would assume that one would probably take it over. So we'll see.
I think one of the two will win. Mm-hmm. So one of us is going to have bragging rights on that.
Mm-hmm.
So animated feature. I guess Flee again. 3 in a row for Flee. Encanto, Luca, Mitchell's versus the Machines, and Raya and the Last Dragon.
Yeah, this is one of the categories that I saw Well, no, I didn't see Flee. I did not see Flee. I saw parts of it, but not the full thing. But yeah, I think Encanto is the one that's gonna win.
Yeah. Surprisingly strong this year, because last year was so weak. Mm-hmm. And this year, earlier in the year, I thought Luca was gonna win. But as Encanto came out, I was really shocked how much I loved Encanto.
I never thought Luca was going to win because I saw Raya in the last
terrible.
No, I think Raya's actually kind of good. I think it was actually kind of good. And I could see that one potentially of winning. But that was before Encanto came out, because Encanto came out later in the year. And after I saw that one, I was like, there's hands down. This is it. This can't be beat.
Encanto's amazing. I'm shocked I loved it. And Lin-Manuel Miranda, is a dark spot in this movie for me.
Oh my gosh.
Because I guess we're gonna talk about the original song, and he decided not to nominate any of the freaking great songs it had. Well, he has some power.
Yeah.
But Disney had to accept it, and they nominated the bilingual song, or it is in Spanish.
Mm-hmm. But we'll get to that when we talked about the songs. Okay, so our next category is Best Visual Effects. And we have Dune, Free Guy, No Time to Die, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, and Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah, I think this is such a weird category because this feels like it's the short list for MTV Best Movie of the Year. Or like Nickelodeon fans' favorite, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they're very heavy on CGI. Dune's probably gonna win just because of what it is.
I agree. I think Dune also has a chance, like a big chance.
I don't think it has great CGI, but we got a lot of crap for it when the Dune episode came out from people, including my friends. So, yeah, I mean, whatever. Clearly, Dune's not our favorite, but it's gonna win a lot of awards, and I'm not mad about it.
No, I'm not either.
Because, again, Best Sound, there's 5 nominees, but I think Dune's gonna win. You can list the nominees, though.
So for Best Sound, there's Belfast, Dune, No Time to Die, The Power of the Dog, and West Side Story. For this one, I had West Side Story as my pick.
I don't know if I think Dune has good sound. Like, we complained a little about it.
Well, yeah, and I'm not sure, like I said, the reason why I didn't pick Dune is because I mentioned it in our episode, how loud it was when the music was going, but when they started whispering, it was awful to hear them.
Yeah, which normally would fall under sound mixing, but 2 years ago they decided that the sound category is just going to be one, because most of the times people don't know what they're voting for.
Yeah. Or
the same movie wins both.
Yeah.
But the last year that there was a difference between the mixing and can't think of the word. Okay. So you pick West Side Story. I pick Dune. Yet again, we're fighting for the supreme guesser spot.
Mm-hmm.
I would not pick Dune personally, but I think that other people would, so that's why I'm going with Dune.
That's valid.
I think people are going to just think of Dune as a technical movie, which I've seen people saying, please don't call them technical awards. They are. That's what they are. That's literally. Then there's nothing wrong about that.
Yeah, well, because it's like those are important to movies too. So no one's saying that they're worse at Oscars than best.
No, they're just different.
Actor. Yeah,
they're less objective, or they're more objective. Sorry, because they are like a technique. But I mean, I don't think a lot of people really care, which is, I kind of care, but I'm a nerd. So from sound, we'll go to song.
So for best original song, we have "Be Alive" from King Richard,
"Dos Oruguitas" from Encanto,
"Down to Joy" from Belfast,
"No Time to Die" from No Time to Die,
and "Somehow You Do" from 4 Good Days.
I watched 4 Good Days. I don't know why, but I did. And
yeah, we both kind of watched it.
Yeah, you kind of joined in halfway through, but okay, I didn't actually listen to the song. I just wanted to mention that's a really funny movie to get an Oscar nomination.
Yeah, it is kind of a funny movie.
But I mean, I would say that the Beyonce song would win because people love Beyonce, but this is her first Oscar nomination, so I guess the Oscars don't love Beyonce. And I'm gonna go with "No Time to Die."
I'm really stuck between "No Time to Die" and "Be Alive," but I think I am gonna go with "Be Alive." I do kind of like that song.
We talked about it in the King Richard episode.
Like, it makes me feel emotional. Whereas I feel like "No Time to Die" is a really catchy song that did play on the radio a lot.
Yeah, it's in people's heads.
Yeah, so
they'll recognize it. That's why I'm going with it. I think they'll recognize it.
Yeah, I'm still gonna go with "Be Alive" though.
Okay.
I think Beyonce might get her Oscar this time around.
Well, my problem with this category, best song. It's not a movie category. Most of these songs are played in the credits,
and are not very significant to the movie. And they just feel like a play at awards.
That's true, because I think at least back in the 2000s, I think that some of these songs, or some of the songs that were nominated, were a little bit more focused on the movie. I just have like one in particular that I'm thinking about, and it's from Moulin Rouge, which actually the song that is big in that one I don't think it was even allowed to be in.
Kind of what happened with Encanto this year.
Yeah, it wasn't even like, it wasn't able to be nominated because it wasn't necessarily written for that movie, but it's really integrated in that movie. Mm-hmm. So I think if it was more along the lines of that, instead of having all these songs that are like played at the end during the credits, that would be a little bit better for an Oscar nomination.
Yeah, this whole category could be songs from Encanto.
That's true. They're so good.
But they went with like the least memorable, and I'm not saying it's not as good, it just doesn't stick in my head. And it's probably because like
it's more emotional.
But it's foreign, and it's in a different language, and it's hard to memorize and sing along for people that don't speak Spanish, which is, fair, because this is a Hollywood award show. This is not like an international award show. And that's why, like, international films are the ones not in English, so the people voting will be mostly speaking English, and I don't think a Spanish song would really stand much of a chance, but keep it with sound categories, I guess. Best score.
We have Don't Look Up, Dune, Encanto, Parallel Mothers, and The Power of the Dog.
You love The Power of the Dog score.
Yes, so I'm just going to stick with that. I think it's going to be The Power of the Dog. I think it did a really good job integrating with the movie pretty well. And I don't know. I think it added value to the movie.
I'm again going with Dune for this technical award.
I mean, yeah, that one.
The Dune score was good though. Like, that's probably one of the best aspects in the movie for me.
Yeah, and it also has going for it that it's Hans Zimmer.
Yeah.
The Academy really does love Hans Zimmer. Everyone loves Hans Zimmer, so yeah.
He's already in for Dune 2, so it's more important than getting some of the actors sometimes.
Yeah.
So that's pretty straightforward. I guess moving on to production design, because I'm still with Dune here. But besides Dune, there's other movies, I suppose. Nightmare Alley, The Power of the Dog, The Treasury of Macbeth, and West Side Story. West Side Story is actually like really impressive.
I think I am going to go with West Side Story for this one. I was kind of stuck. I was kind of stuck between this and Nightmare Alley because I think Nightmare Alley does have pretty cool sets, and I think that
they all do. This is not a bad category at all.
Yeah,
Power of the Dog is the weaker. I guess we talked about that.
Yeah, we did talk about that. But I think that at least with West Side Story and Nightmare Alley, they have a variety of different settings too,
I hope West Side Story wins. I actually really, really love the production design. Didn't love the movie, but I love the design. So I hope those people get their award, but I'm gonna still stick with Dune.
I mean, I can see Dune winning too, just because like
I'm not picking favorites here. I'm just trying to guess. So.
Yeah. So our next category is hair and makeup. So we have Coming to America.
No. Not gonna win.
Cruella.
Might win.
Dune, The Eyes of Tammy Faye, and House of Gucci.
Okay. You got House of Gucci, obviously.
No. I said Cruella.
I put Cruella in my short list, but I put The Eyes of Tammy Faye above it.
I just think that with Eyes of Tammy Faye, people aren't going to be like, oh yeah, the hair and makeup in that. I think that they will be like, oh, Cruella had that. But I'll pick that.
I don't know, The Eyes of Tammy Faye, like, a lot of people didn't even think it was good at all. They thought it was terrible. But also it's winning awards for it, so that's what I'm picking. I actually like the movie, which I recognize I liked it because I was starved for some biographical dramas at the time. But I mean, you might be right, but then it also might be like, oh, they made her look exactly like this person. So sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't.
Sometimes.
I think it'll work this time.
I don't know. I'm still going to stick with Cruella. I don't really see it being otherwise.
So you're so excited about Cruella. I guess let's go to costume design.
Yeah, so we have Cruella, Cyrano, Dune, Nightmare Alley, and West Side Story.
I'll give it to Cruella here. I think it'll be Cruella.
I'm going to go with Cyrano because we know that usually if it's a period piece, they usually just are like, yep,
I don't think
for you.
I don't think we're going to be saying Oscar-winning movie Cyrano in the future.
I think we will.
I think it'll be Cruella. West Side Story is a terrible nomination. I don't remember if I talked about this. It was last episode, but I hate it. I hate the costume designers. They're just wearing wife beaters, and I get it. They're dirty and they're working people, but like, god damn.
They're dirty working people.
Like, the costume design for the Puerto Ricans is actually like fair enough. A little hokey to me, but it could be fun to look at. But like, the main character that we see the most is so annoying to look at. His clothes.
That's valid.
But Cruella is like a fashion movie, so
it is a fashion movie, but I still think that they're gonna go with something that's a little bit more obvious. That like, oh yeah, this definitely had some costume stuff going into it.
You're picking old timey, and I'm picking fancy dresses, I guess.
So our next category is film editing, where we have Don't Look Up. Almost had to stop myself from laughing there. Dune, King Richard, The Power of the Dog, and Tick, Tick, Boom. I have a beef with this category.
It's always the same crap.
I think that Tick, Tick, Boom and Don't Look Up have terrible film editing.
Don't Look Up definitely has terrible film editing.
I really didn't like any of the transitions that they did in Tick, Tick, Boom. They feel really hokey and really like fake.
Don't Look Up was so clunky. They kept cutting to stuff that was so randomly put in there that it felt like it was just slowing it down for no reason. Mm-hmm. And okay, whatever. It always happens. So I'm not gonna pick King Richard, but I think it could be King Richard because it's so obviously edited. The way it's edited is very like by the book. Mm-hmm. The same way that like Ford vs Ferrari was edited. Mm-hmm. But it's like, yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. Mm. But again, it's a technical award, and I said I picked Dune for all of them.
Yeah, I think I'm picking Dune for this one as well. I just think that one has probably the best chance again because it's probably more on people's mind right now. Whereas, like, I think King Richard has one shot to get a win, and we'll talk about that one later.
Well, you talk about the song. Mm-hmm. Could win the song.
Oh, yeah, it could win the song.
Could win the editing.
It could win two. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. This type of like big biographical film could always win stuff, I guess, but it's always not memorable to me. Mm. So next we're gonna go with best cinematography. Sorry, cinematography. Is that what it is? Dune, Nightmare Alley, Part of the Dog, The Treasury of Macbeth, and West Side Story. Those are all good. You don't like West Side Story. I think it's one of the best ones of the year.
I don't like West Side Story. I also don't like Nightmare Alley, so
Well, Nightmare Alley I just find ugly in the same way I find all of his movies ugly. Not ugly, just I don't know. They kind of create a layer of separation between me and the movie sometimes, but
I'm gonna give this one to The Tragedy of Macbeth.
It's black and white.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind.
Exactly. That's why I think that has it going for it, and I think that there's something so simplistic about Tragedy of Macbeth. It's really,
but that would be in the production design the production design combined, with the cinematography, amazing. Kind of feels surrealistic. You don't know if you're watching a movie or a play.
Yeah, that's what I liked about it, and so
gorgeous to watch.
I'm gonna give it to Tragedy of Macbeth.
I think my favorite of the year would be Spencer, because I just love that movie in every aspect. But Treasure of Macbeth is like I do love the simplicity of following it. But it's a technical award that I'm giving to Dune. Surprise.
So boring. At least I'm spicing it up every now and then, trying to be like, oh, I'll give some people the benefit of the doubt. They're not going to pick Dune for everything, right? Hopefully. We'll see. Well, because I feel like they have to save some stuff for the final.
But Dune looked fine. I mean, people loved it. We didn't watch it in IMAX or anything, but people loved it in IMAX.
Yeah, but I'm saying that I think that maybe people are like, oh, it's not complete yet because the second part hasn't come out.
Right, but the way it looks has nothing to do with it, so I don't really know. I mean, I think it's just an epic looking movie, and people will sway people. I mean.
So next we have the best original screenplay. We have Belfast, Don't Look Up, King Richard, Licorice Pizza, and The Worst Person in the World.
Worst Person in the World's not going to win it because not enough voters would have seen it.
Yeah.
I don't know what to pick here. Licorice Pizza.
Hard. This one's hard for me.
Licorice Pizza has a good screenplay, but I think it's too vague for the voters. So I'm going with Belfast, even though I don't love the screenplay, but solid enough to win.
I think at least it has heart in it, and you can definitely tell that it's written with love, you know? Whereas I think I'm gonna go with Licorice Pizza, mostly because it's PTA. And I think even though it is kind of vague, I think that there's going to be people that kind of do miss the 70s.
I guess vague's not really the right word, but like open-ended, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
I still think that people are going to gravitate towards that more so than...
Again, we disagree. We can't agree on anything this year. Guys, let's try the adapted screenplay. Maybe they're... So, Coda, Drive My Car, Dune, The Lost Daughter, and The Power of the Dog.
This is also kind of hard for me.
It is. I think this might even be a little stronger. I think The Power of the Dog was the best screenplay? It's hard to say that because Drive My Car is in there. But, I don't know. I don't know. Drive My Car is so complex. But so is Power of the Dog.
Yeah, that one's really hard. I think those two are pretty even when it comes to layers. Where it is like, you don't... I think with Drive My Car, it's a little bit more obvious that there's multiple layers to it. Whereas I think Power of the Dog is more subtle. Like, you have to be like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
This happened and this happened. So does that mean this happened? You know,
but that doesn't mean Drive My Car is worse in any way.
No, I really love Drive My Car.
I think it's better.
I really love Drive My Car.
I actually think it's better. And I think thematically it's better. But what you're saying is you understand there's themes. With Power of the Dog, you could just watch it blank-faced and miss it.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Which is a praise to kind of both of them.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with Power of the Dog. Toss it up.
Yeah, this is really a toss-up. I also was kind of stuck between those two. I think I am going to give it to Power of the Dog, though.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that...
we'll see. I mean, it's hard. It's a hard one.
Yeah. I think that... people are really into Jane right now as a director, so they might also give her one for writing. We'll see.
So let's go into the acting categories. Start with, I guess the weakest one would be supporting actor, maybe?
I wouldn't say it's weak, but...
Okay, but we'll go with that one. We got Ciarán Hinds for Belfast, which I might have mispronounced his first name. Troy Kotsur for Coda. Jesse Plemons, Part of the Dog. J.K. Simmons being the Ricardos, and Cody Schmidt-McPhee for Part of the Dog. I know who I want to win.
I know who you want to win,
I'm
too.
a big Jesse Plemons guy, but I'm going with Troy Kotsur.
I'm also going with Troy Kotsur, but I do want to like talk about this category for just a second. This is our first category where we mentioned being the Ricardos.
Oh, and, God, okay.
You know, God.
I did not like J.K. Simmons in this.
No.
It's another scenario where it's J.K. Simmons being J.K. Simmons.
Yeah.
And I don't understand this nomination.
I do like him. Like I
like him, yeah.
I like J.K. Simmons, but
not
not in this. He did a good job for what he was given, you know? Because I don't know who was responsible for that, but...
I don't know.
It was not very good.
Let's not get on the hate train of being the Ricardos.
But, you know, and then Cody Schmidt-McPhee, amazing. Jesse Plemons. I think Jesse Plemons is a little bit more understated in Power of the Dog.
I don't think is going to win because in the same category, there's someone else from the movie that feels more important to the overall development.
Yeah.
So, I think that the importance of the character is very important
to who can win this. So
Yeah.
I think we're both gonna go with Troy.
Yeah, I think that his portrayal of
The dad.
the dad in the story is sweet and it feels genuine.
And he literally just won the award for the Independent Spirit Award, and I don't know. It also helps that like, the way he's acting, no one else can replicate because they don't have his life experience.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Look
forward to his speech.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. I do look forward to his speech. So our next category is Best Supporting Actress. We have Jessie Buckley for The Lost Daughter, Ariana DeBose for West Side Story, Judi Dench for Belfast, Kristen Dunst for The Power of the Dog, and Anjanu Ellis for King Richard.
Right. Again, I know who I want to win here.
And Big it's Jessie, also named Jessie.
Big Jessie Buckley guy here. From day one, though, like Jessie Buckley, I love all of her movies. Like, she just always brings such a good energy to all of her roles, and I don't know. This is bringing me to last year and watching. I'm thinking of Ending Things.
Yeah.
I'm just pulling for the Jessies. And this year they actually both got nominated, so go figure. It's not her, though. That's gonna win. I think this one is pretty set in stone.
Yeah, I think so.
Like, since the beginning, everyone knew who was gonna win all the awards, and it's Ariana DeBose. Fine, okay. I mean, I don't think she was that important or like that standoutish. I mean, in the West Side Story.
But I think like historically, it'll be significant because if she wins, then it's going to be the same. Like the actress that did it in the 50s also won.
Yeah, I do think a lot of people are like wishing for it because of the historic sense.
Yeah,
but no one in this category was super stand out to me.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're all a little bit understated in their roles. Like nobody had like a big breakout moment for me.
Yeah, I don't feel like this is a breakout for anyone. People talked about being a breakout for Ariana DeBose. I don't see it. But, I mean, the best for her. Hopefully it will be. I mean, I hope she does everything she wants to. But I just don't see how this was a breakout role.
So now we're going to move on to Best Actor.
Yeah, Best Actor is Javier Bardem for being the Ricardos, Benedict Cumberbatch for Power of the Dog, Andrew Garfield for Tick, Tick, Boom, Will Smith for King Richard, and Denzel Washington for The Tragedy of Macbeth. And I must say, I was really surprised how much I love Denzel Washington.
I agree. I don't think he's gonna win.
No.
I think that Will Smith pretty much has it in the bag.
It's pretty agree. I think it's kind of the scenario last year where like I could see it not going to Joaquin Phoenix, or
that was 2 years ago.
2 years ago. I can see it not going to Joaquin Phoenix and Adam Driver winning, but realistically Adam Driver's not going to win. It's going to be the obvious choice, and this year is Will Smith.
Yeah, but I mean, last year we were very wrong. We thought that they were going to give it to
but we were very wrong for more
Boswick.
Yeah, but we're very wrong for emotional reasons.
Yeah,
because if you go listen to my predictions, I said that Anthony Hopkins was my favorite.
Yeah,
but yeah, I could see this Adam Driver scenario for Benedict Cumberbatch. But it's Will Smith. I mean, it's pretty obvious. Will Smith put everything into winning this, but I don't think he was even that great. And I don't like him. I think he's really fake. His whole YouTube stuff, fake. He might be a good guy, but as an actor, he always comes off as fake to me, but might be because I always see him as being a little fake.
Yeah, I think, for me, I think obviously Will Smith is gonna win, but I really am kind of pulling for Denzel Washington.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
Privately.
I think this role was like, I guess a little unexpected for him, but it was so surprising. Yeah. The way he committed to it and did it so brilliantly.
Yeah, I agree. Because I honestly didn't have any thoughts about him before going into.
No, but it has like a lot of action thrillers and that type of stuff, and this is like such a stage play movie. And it's lovely.
And then with Javier Bardem getting for Desi, obviously that was always going to happen in my opinion, but I really it was just kind of whatever. I think he did a good job.
I kind of liked him, yeah. I think he was the best part of it.
Yeah, I think he did the best job,
Nicole Kidman was good.
Nicole Kidman was good, but I think that Javier did a better Desi than she did a Lucy.
Okay.
But that's just what I think.
But if that movie has anything, is both of them selling it.
Yeah.
As the main, but because I don't really think it has much else.
And now we're moving on to Best Actress.
This was the strongest acting category this year, and it was so stacked that all the nominees here didn't get a nomination for the Golden Globes. Because there's so many women just killing it this year.
That's true. So we have Jessica Chastain for The Eyes of Tammy Faye, Olivia Colman for The Lost Daughter, Penelope Cruz for Parallel Mothers, Nicole Kidman for Being the Ricardos, and Kristen Stewart for Spencer.
I would love Kristen Stewart to win.
I agree.
She killed it.
I think she did a great job.
I would also really...
Surprisingly.
Yeah. I mean, again, if you knew me, I was one of the biggest haters for this movie before it came out, and then it turned out to be... Because I just thought the trailer was really stupid, and I thought her playing Diana was really stupid, but it really wasn't. It was great. I would also love Olivia Colman to win. Just the last speech was great. She's always coming off as super honest and open and doesn't try to pretend just to win awards.
And Penelope Cruz, I didn't see Parallel Mothers, but from what I heard, she did an amazing job in this. And this was a role that she was born to play.
Really haven't had the chance. I'm usually really early to Pedro Almodovar. This year I really didn't have a chance to watch Parallel Mothers, and I don't know when I will. But I don't think she's going to win.
I don't think she's going to win either. But I did think she probably did a great job from what I've heard other people talk about it.
I mean, if I got to pick one, I guess Nicole Kidman's going to have to be it, because I think she just has the best chance. She's playing Lucy.
Yeah. I think people love Lucy more than they love maybe the performance that Nicole Kidman did. But because
she was good.
Yeah, she was good, but because they love Lucy so much, and Lucy is such a beloved historical figure in show business, I think that might be what's going to carry through.
She was good. She was definitely not the best, but I think it's just she has the best chances right now to win that. So,
and then we are coming down to our last two categories.
Yes.
So,
Best Director, we get Kenneth Branagh for Belfast, Ryusuke Hamaguchi for Drive My Car, Paul Thomas Anderson for Licorice Pizza, Jane Campion for The Power of the Dog, and Steven Spielberg for West Side Story. And I think this means that Steven Spielberg breaks the record for most nominations. That I think he was tied with Scorsese. But he's definitely not going to win, I hope.
I also hope not, because I just really didn't like West Side Story.
I just think it's a little vain, and I think he knew... I think he went into this making it knowing he was going to get nominated. I don't know if he cares, but I definitely know he knew. But the other ones, I don't think PTA has a lick of a chance.
I don't think so either. Not for this.
No. Hamaguchi just didn't get hyped as a director. The movie
got a little bit of hype, but then...
A very small amount of hype. I'm going to be real, I didn't think get enough hype.
Yeah.
I think it will in the future, especially if it wins Best Picture, which is next category.
Yeah.
But I don't think people are talking about the director the same way they're talking about Bong Joon-ho when he won, right? Because he got real hyped, and he proceeded to win.
Yeah.
And last year was Chloe Zhao for Nomadland. And she did get a lot of hype. There was a lot of interviews with her and stuff. In fact, this year there's not a lot of hype for anyone except for Jane Campion.
Yeah, and I don't know if they're going to give it to Jane Campion.
I mean, there was hype for PTA, but not to win an Oscar. There was hype for PTA in, a certain group in the film community. People love it, but it wasn't the Oscar community that was hyped for PTA. I think it's the only one that had a lot of words behind it was Jane Campion, and I think she's going to 100% win. Maybe 99. I'll give 1% to Kenneth.
Yeah, I think if anyone's going to win besides her, it would be Kenneth. But I'm also gonna give it to Jane Campion because I think that she's at least like it still has a lot of hype. She still has a lot of hype, I'd say.
That's just fair.
So that's kind of my opinion. I don't really have a strong opinion on anybody else besides I don't want Spielberg to win just because I didn't.
I think his name carried him here.
Yeah.
I'll be real. It's just there.
I agree. I think there could have been so many other like instances where you can kind of see that the directing felt more genuine or more carefully.
Well, that's not.
crafted.
I don't agree with that. I do think that Spielberg showed
really
love for West Side Story, and I knew he really wanted to make it. But it's just.
It felt to me more along the lines of like, look what I can do.
Yeah, a little.
I'm
yeah,
Spielberg.
A little.
I don't know.
Okay, big one. Big category.
Yep,
the
it's
one
our
we
final
wait
category.
a year for, and then the second it happens and someone wins, we move forward and ignore it.
Yep.
So, Belfast.
Coda.
Don't Look Up.
Drive My Car.
Dune.
King Richard.
Licorice Pizza.
Nightmare Alley.
The Part of the Dog.
And West Side Story.
I'm going to separate this into two groups.
Okay.
The ones that have a chance and the ones that don't.
Okay.
West Side Story and Nightmare Alley.
No chance?
I think that's bottom of the... No, well, I'm going to separate this into like top 5, bottom 5. Like bottom 5 doesn't have a chance. And I think dead bottom would be Nightmare Alley. Right?
Right.
And I know a lot of people love Licorice Pizza. That's not, I don't think, even close.
I agree. I'd also say Don't Look Up is also in that bottom 5.
Don't Look Up is solidly in the bottom 5. And King Richard was at one point maybe in the top 3, but I think by now it's in the bottom 5, personally. And Dune, realistically, it would be an insane movie if it was. It'd be so incredibly surprising to me.
I think because people were mad that Villanueva, or however you say his name, didn't get a directing nod. But I think it's because they're going to wait until the second part comes out, and I think that's when he'll probably be nominated, so you have his complete like body of work for this movie. I think if it's going to have a chance, it's going to have a chance like in two or 3 years.
I don't think he'll have a chance to. I think he'll have less hype.
Maybe, but I don't
know.
You probably would have said the same thing about like the Lord of the Rings movies.
No, because I think they kept the level of hype. But okay, I kept Drive My Car in the top 5. And I think it's the dark horse to win. It would be very, very hard for it to win, but if it gets enough second and third place votes, it could win.
That's true.
Because, it's preferential voting ballots. So it goes through rounds of counting and eliminating movies. So the movie that wins is not the one that gets the most first places. Which I don't think Drive My Car could win with having the most first places. But I think it could win by being like people's second favorite, third favorite.
Yeah.
Coda, again, same kinda. I feel like it's a comfortable movie for people to vote on. And I think it could get second vote. Like it could be like, Dune's absolutely my favorite movie of the year, but Coda made me feel good too. And then same for Belfast, but Belfast could win with first place votes.
Right.
I think it could. And I hate to put West Side Story here. I liked it enough to not hate it. I think it was okay. Whatever. I think the traditionalists and the older voters are going to think this is the best movie of the year. I think this is going to get a lot of number 1 votes. I really, really do. I wouldn't be surprised if West Side Story won. I'll be upset. I would not be surprised.
I'd be upset.
I just think I've seen a lot of journalists put it as their first one, which I'm not doing, by the way, because I'm putting The Power of the Dog at number 1. We mentioned that it was the favorite in the Power of the Dog video, but West Side Story could win, and it's a reality we all need to prepare for. But yeah, number 1 for me, I think is going to win as Power of the Dog.
thought that I was going to put Power of the Dog as my number one. But the more I thought about it, and the more I thought about, you know, how the Oscar voting works, I think it's going to be Belfast. I think Belfast is a really easy movie to put as your number 2 or number 3.
It's also easy to put as your number 1.
It's also really easy to put as your number 1 because it's such a... It's so cute.
Yeah,
you know?
It's so cute.
And it's got this... dealing with a time in history that, you know...
But it's British.
I don't think it matters.
Yeah, it does. I don't think it does, but it could. I mean, it really could.
But
You're
that's
right.
what I'm saying. It's really easy to put that as number...
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It
2.
could.
Like, I think it's a lot easier to put that as number 2 than Coda. Because Coda, I do agree Coda's pretty good, and it's, you know...
It's comfortable.
It's comfortable, but I think that Belfast is even more comfortable. It's even more traditional. In a sense of, like, that's what a movie is. That's what a...
I disagree. I think Coda's more traditional.
I don't know. I don't think so.
I think Power of the Dog is more of a traditional Oscar winner movie.
But I think there's enough people, especially in the older vote, that would put it, like, dead last.
No, I don't think so. I think the older vote will put it close
know.
to West Side Story.
I don't know.
I do think it would be between West Side Story, Belfast, and Power of the Dog. Realistically. Coda could fluke it, and Drive My Car could be the dark horse, and I would love that.
Yeah.
And again, we talk about, like, foreign directors. This could be a really good precedent to have, like, 2 foreign movies win so close together for the future, so we're not scared of having 3-4 foreign films nominated.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it is a Hollywood-based award.
Yeah.
It's not an international award, so it makes sense that it would be mostly American movies.
I suppose, but I will say that out of all of the Oscar nominations, Drive My Car was my favorite.
Yeah, Drive My Car was my favorite too.
I just think it had such a... It was so surprising to me.
It's a good lasting sensation too.
Yeah.
You think about it for a long time, still to this day.
Yeah.
You remember aspects of it, you're like, oh, that's what, you know, whatever.
Yeah. And I think, you know, just to kind of give our final thoughts on, you know, stuff that I wish had gotten something or gotten like a nom of some sort, you know, like some recognition. I feel like Spencer, even though it got Kristen Stewart, like that movie was pretty good.
Spencer was amazing. It should have gotten score, in my opinion, screenplay, cinematography, and acting, if not directing a Best Picture. But I'm not going to say directing a Best Picture because that's like really pushing it.
Yeah. I think that what that one had going against it was that people thought it was going to be more of like an actual biography.
Yeah.
And it was very much a
I thought it was
adaptation.
I thought it was going to be a biography.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy it wasn't.
Yeah.
And
I think people were the opposite though.
For,
you know,
higher awards, I would also put Tragedy of Macbeth. It's not accessible, really.
It really isn't.
It's the opposite of accessible, but I think it should be celebrated for how beautifully put together it was.
I also really enjoyed Green Knight this year.
Yeah.
And I think that I kind of understand why I didn't get anything, to be fair, but I thought the editing in that was really good.
Editing good.
I thought
cinematography
was great.
CGI, like the visual effects. It could have gone visual effects.
What's the guy's name that plays the Green Knight?
No, he doesn't play the Green Knight. He plays the...
Oh, well, he plays the guy.
God damn it, I can't think of his name.
I thought he did really good. I'll figure his name out eventually.
I've seen so many movies with him. I'm always talking about how good he is. And
I know, he's good in like everything that he does.
He really is.
Every time, I'm just like...
Even like the...
Dev Patel.
Dev Patel.
He's so good.
Even like the... Well, actually, I don't like Slumdog Millionaires, and that's his breakout role.
Yeah.
But like, even like Marigold Hotel, like Best Exotic, Marigold Hotel.
Yeah.
Lion.
Hotel Mumbai.
Hotel Mumbai is great.
Yeah.
And Green Knight, all of these are great. I think this is his most impressive role.
I agree.
And he's gotten nominated before, right? For Lion?
I think so.
Maybe. He's a very celebrated actor, and he has a lot of years ahead of him.
Yeah, he's 31. I'm sure hopefully at some point, he got one nomination. He's gotten one Academy nomination.
This would have had it going against him
is the way A24 released it so early in the year.
Yeah.
Was kind of giving up on award chances. We did an episode on this, and I was already sure it's gonna get a Best Picture.
Yeah.
And I still think so, because like, say, well, what 10 movies are actually gonna get it? And then Don't Look Up gets it.
Yeah.
And West Side Story gets so much love, and I was not expecting West Side Story to actually be so successful.
I wasn't expecting Don't Look Up to be so successful. I thought it was just kind of a whatever movie, but...
No, because it has so many famous people.
Yeah, but it still seems so, like, okay.
It has a director that is historically done well with the Oscars. Which is, I guess, why actors like working with him, even though he sucks. But, you know, we just ramble.
Yeah, and I think, we already talked about Titane. I think that...
Cyrano, obviously.
Well, Serrano already got one, so... But,
darn.
But with Titane, I just think that she's doing something that nobody else is, really.
Well,
and
she has her own style, but I think it might get old if she keeps just doing body horror, though.
That's true.
Because she loves, like, scratching
yeah,
herself. And...
she loves body horror.
Yeah.
But I think that Titane was such a... just crazy, over-the-top type thing that I wasn't expecting.
Yeah, and she's great. I mean, everything she's put out I love, even like her shorts. Like we saw Junior. It's like an early short, and like even that's a body horror. But they're all just unique to her, and it's great. But I don't think it's gonna work for the Oscars. And I don't think we should expect it to work for the Oscars.
Yeah. I'm glad that House of Gucci and Tick Tick Boom didn't get much of anything.
I'm really happy. Tick Tick Boom was actually something I thought could sneak in.
As Best Picture?
Yeah, as Best Picture, and I'm really glad it didn't. I know a lot of musical people love it. I actually liked it as a musical better than West Side Story. But as a movie, I did not.
Yeah, and I feel like I really enjoyed The French Dispatch. I know that that might be... me being in the minority. I'm not sure.
No, I think French Dispatch is acceptable for most people, and I think that, you know, the directing was never... Wes Anderson has gotten director before, but it wasn't going to get it for this.
Yeah, but I really enjoyed...
This could get editing, it could get cinematography, it could get production design. There's a lot this could get, but a lot of people will also argue that he always does the same thing, which is true in a sense.
It's true in a sense, but I think, at least with his production design, it's always different, you know? It's always visually interesting, too.
I'm also going to mention that we haven't had an animated movie for Best Picture in so long. And Encanto really could be that. And I wouldn't hate that.
I wouldn't hate it either. Encanto was surprisingly refreshing. I really enjoyed that it didn't have a villain.
Right.
Really?
And I don't love Disney animation movies. Or Pixar. I don't even know who put this out. And I hate Lin-Manuel Miranda. He's so annoying to me, but this is such a good movie. And the songs he wrote are actually catchy and pretty, and the story is so pretty. And I don't think it's the best looking animated movie, but I'm just at a point everything looks the same now.
Yeah. And then just one more thing that I have before I think we'll probably wrap up. I'm kind of surprised that Vivo didn't get a nom for animated. Because it is like a Lin-Manuel Miranda. He didn't direct it or anything, but he did, you know.
He wrote it, and he's the main voice.
The music for it, and he's the voice. So, which I didn't particularly like it that much.
No, I didn't like it.
It's kind of forgettable, but...
I kind of hated it, actually.
True. You did hate it. But I think...
guess my rapping would be that, Come On, Come On. I think it's similar to Belfast and Coda. I think it's prettier than Coda. Like, the story's prettier than Coda. Like, I get that the Coda story is more straightforward and accessible, and I guess it's more enjoyable. Like, people... Sometimes I enjoy straightforward stories because I'm just in the mood, or... Like I mentioned, I like The Eyes of Tammy Faye because I wanted a straightforward biodrama. But, yeah, I would love Come On, Come On to also be...
acknowledged.
A single nomination.
Yeah.
One.
There's a lot of stuff that I felt like could have gotten something and didn't.
But at the end, it doesn't matter.
Personal taste.
Yeah, it
too,
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I mean, no one's... We've gotten comments telling us how silly we are. Because Drive My Car is clearly the best movie of the year. But it is taste. It is taste, it's none of this is objective. You could think it's super stinky because it doesn't click with you, or you don't like subtitles. Fair enough. I mean, not really, but yeah, this
it's
is
on you.
none of this is personal. I don't know literally anyone that got nominated this year, personally or by friends.
But I think that'll be it for this episode, and we are probably going to do a reaction to the winners. But that might come out later than our normal time.
And if you made it this far, thank you so much for sticking with us. Tell us, comment banana if you made it this far so I know you're a real one.
And we'll see you next time.